My boss denied my promotion, then asked me to train my new manager. My boss denied my promotion, saying I wasn't ready for leadership, then asked me to secretly create the training materials for my new manager. Just today, I presented those materials to the executive team with unexpected results. I've spent 4 years building our company's customer success department from scratch. When I started, we had 0 processes, no documentation, and customer satisfaction ratings that made our CEO physically wince. I developed our entire playbook, hired and trained 12 team members, and increased our satisfaction scores by 78%. When my director announced his retirement, I naturally applied for his position. My quarterly reviews had always been stellar. My metrics exceeded targets. I'd even been flying to our satellite offices to conduct training at my own expense. The promotion seemed like a formality. Then came the rejection email from HR. While your contributions are valued, we've determined you lack the leadership presence necessary for a director role. We'll be looking externally for candidates with more executive experience. I was devastated but maintained my professionalism. 2 weeks later, my boss called me into his office with an exciting opportunity. We've hired Matthew Sullivan as the new Kunspar Success Director, he explained. He comes from a great enterprise background, but doesn't know our industry. I need you to create comprehensive training materials for him, paired documentation of all our processes, decision trees, crisis response protocols, everything you built. Of course, I replied, while internally questioning why someone who lacked leadership presence was qualified to create director-level training for 3 weeks. I worked overtime documenting every aspect of our department. I created process maps, decision frameworks, auditability analyses, and future strategy recommendations. I poured everything I knew into these materials, creating what essentially became a 200-page guide to running our department. The day before Matthew was to start, my boss reviewed my work with obvious approval. This is exceptional, he said. Let's keep this between us, though. I don't want Matthew to feel like you are undermining his authority. That night, I made a decision. I forwarded the complete training package to our chief targeting officer with a simple message. I thought executive leadership might want to review the onboarding materials I prepared for the new CS director position. I was deemed unqualified for the next morning. Instead of meeting Matthew, I was called to the executive boardroom. My boss was there looking uncomfortable along with the COO, CO, and chief people officer. We'd like you to walk us through these materials, the COO said, gesturing to my documentation displayed on the screen for the next hour. I professionally presented every section, explaining our customer journey maps, escalation protocols, and strategic roadmap. I answered their questions with data and specific examples, never once mentioning the promotion rejection. When I finished, the CEO turned to my boss. Well, to me again why she wasn't qualified for the director role. My boss stammered something about presence and external perspective. The COO interrupted him. The presence I am seeing is someone who single-handedly built a department while documenting it so thoroughly that anyone could step in and maintain it. That's not just leadership, Pearton, that's legacy thinking. The chief people officer turned to me. We've placed a hold on Matthew's offer. Would you be willing to meet with us tomorrow to discuss the director position? I agreed, maintaining my composure until I reached my car, where I finally allowed myself to celebrate. This morning, I accepted the promotion with a substantial raise and direct reporting line to the COO, bypassing my former boss entirely. Sometimes the best response to being underestimated isn't outrage or resignation, Pearton. It's simply showing your complete, undeniable value in a way that can't be ignored or attributed to someone else.